to the Clown Brother Show. I'm so excited to introduce you to episode 3. I am Reddit the Clown, and today we're reviewing Squid Game Season 1, Episode 1. I am just so excited to be reviewing this with all of you. Aren't you, Skullo?
Yes, I'm super excited to be reviewing this gore festival. This will be the great show that we'll be reviewing today, and I am so excited.
Well, I know, Skullo, you'll be excited for this show, but I'm also excited to tell you, the audience, that we will actually be doing every single episode of a season of the show, and that is how we will be doing TV shows on the Clown Brothers Show, going in by episode, giving a synopsis and our thoughts on the story and what's going on and all that happy and fun stuff. So why don't you just start us off, Skullo, since you love this so much?
Alright, well, our story takes place in South Korea. I've never been there before, but from where the story goes, I would definitely visit there one day, maybe. And we follow this one guy who's like a deadbeat. I forget what his name is, but he's a deadbeat. Lives with his mom, he's divorced, his kid's living with the mom, just a total deadbeat. I wouldn't be friends with the guy personally.
True, he's a deadbeat, but his name is Sung-gi-yeon, and he is a gambler on top of everything else, and he goes to the horse races to gamble, and he spends all of his money putting it in trying to win in a horse race, and he even takes money from his mother, for crying out loud, to go pay for it, even the money that his mother gives him for the daughter's birthday that happens to be the same day he goes to the horse races and has a big winning.
But then he gets this dose of reality when his loan sharkers come to collect. And I didn't know this about Korea, but in there you can actually sign away your bodily rights. I guess now I should go into loan sharking, get all those body parts to sell on the black market. The normal thing that criminals do.
Well, Skullo, that is really sick. They shouldn't even have that, but he does, and then all of his money was stolen by a girl. This girl took all of his money, so he can't even pay the loan sharks. He doesn't even have money to take his daughter out to eat. Isn't that so sad?
No, it's not, Reto, because it's the fact that he had an addiction that can never be sustained. I have my problems, but I'm not spending all the money left and right on horse racing, because who does that? And stealing from the mother? Even I wouldn't do that, and I'm a low scumbag. But still, he gets all of his money taken by this girl. Then he has to go back and ask this lady that he tipped for the money back. She was just a cashier and all, but still, that's a low tactic, even for me. I wouldn't do that.
True, Skullo, but at least for once in his life, he finally thinks about his daughter, so he goes to the arcade to try to win her something from the claw machine, and this one kid in this great scene comes up and says, I know how to win, and then together they win this box for a present for his daughter, and then he takes his daughter out to eat some fast food in Korea, and it's just a great scene.
Yeah, until you realize what he actually got his daughter was a gun lighter. I'm about giving kids weird gifts and stuff, but I would not get anything that is too illegal, like a gun lighter for your 10-year-old. Really? And then on top of everything else, the stepdad took her to a steakhouse. You really can't compete.
True, but it's the thought that counts, and that's her actual dad, so it is great that he at least cared a little bit, he's still a deadbeat, and he's still a scumbag for robbing his mother of money that they probably need, because he's got bad business ventures and is debt with not only the bank and loan sharks. That would be a terrible existence, am I right, Skullo?
Yeah, owing people money, that's a real big problem. I don't owe that many people that much money, so I think we'll be fine. But still, from that, he's trying to go home, and he misses his subway train to his house, and then he gets approached by this man in this nice suit who wants to play a game.
Ooh, you know how much I do love games of any kind. I love all kinds of games out there. And it's so exciting that some random stranger comes up to you and wants to play a game. Isn't that nice?
Nah, man, that's pretty weird. I wouldn't ask anybody else to, walk up to them and play a game unless, it was a hooker. But no, moving on. Then we have the game is basically where you have to flip this thing over, and if you flip it over, when you have two bad things, and if you flip the other person's over, you win, and he just keeps getting beat by this guy.
Yes, and he keeps getting beat by this guy, and the bet is whoever wins the game will get 10,000 won each, but he doesn't have the money, so why is he gambling it all away for nothing when he doesn't have the money to pay him back?
Well, the guy in the suit has it all figured out, and he says every time that he wins, he'll just slap slap him for the 10,000 won until finally, out of the clear blue sky, he wins. And then somehow he ends up with a wad of cash from this guy.
And with all this money, you'd think that maybe he would go off and pay his debts or do something good for his daughter, but instead he just goes and buys fish, and then he goes home with all his new winnings and tells his mother about it, and she's like, you probably did something illegal, and he's like, no, it was legal, it's all legal, it's fine. But then his mother tells him the big thing that his daughter wanted to but didn't, that the family is going to move to the Americas, and the only way for him to really get custody back is that he must be a provider for his daughter to even have the good chance to keep the daughter in Korea. Isn't this all sad?
Nah, the dad's deadbeat. The daughter's better off with the step family, you know, with the mom and the stepdad. But, you know, he's all upset. And then, oh, I forgot about this major point, is that the guy in the suit knows all of his information, you know, like where he lives and all of his failings in life, and gives him a card and says, if you want to play a real game, just call this number and we can play a real game.
Correct, Skullo. And then he decides, oh, I'm gonna call this number. I mean, this random number that this guy and all he did was slap me. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go find and hopefully win more money. So he goes, he calls the number, and he gives all of his information again, which is very dangerous. I don't know why these people keep just giving up all their information, but he does that, and then he goes outside, and then there's a van out there for him.
Yeah, a really weird van where, like, the guy's like, are you this person? And he's like, yeah, and then the door opens and he gets in the van after giving code phrase, red light, green light, and it's like, dude, have you watched any movies, actually? Because you never get into the creepy guy's van, and then he gasses him, and then he wakes up in a freaking room with 456 other people who are all numbered, and he just happens to be number 456, and then he meets this guy who's counting people, who's like this old man who happens to be number one of them all, which is kind of lucky, I guess, if you're number one.
Yeah, number one is a great number, but he's not the only one there. Also, the girl that robbed him, who's getting attacked by this criminal guy, and the girl who robbed him's number happens to be a number 67, and the criminal who's beating her up, because I guess they run a crime racket together, is 101. Can you believe that? We have those two people in it, and not only them, but an old friend of his, Cho Sang-woo, who happens to be number 218, and then those are the people that he knows, and then they're all in the game together.
Rightio, you have his friend, you have a criminal, and you have the girl that robbed him of his money that he should have paid his loan sharks. And now we are getting to the point where there are a whole bunch of people that are in debt and that need a lot of money. And the only way to get any money is to win, like, these games that they're doing. And if you win all of them and become a finalist, you get the money. And these games are not told to them so that there's no cheating and everybody has an equal opportunity of winning. But then they're given a waiver where they're given 3 rules to the game.
And on this waiver, the 3 rules are: a player must not stop playing the game. If a player stops playing the game, they will be eliminated. And finally, if a majority of contestants agree, then the games may be terminated.
Right, and if this is a game for money, why would any of you want to terminate it? I mean, really? I mean, if you can win a whole bunch of money and you're all in debt, why not?
Well, it all depends on what kind of games. I wouldn't just go in there and think, well, they could just be like nice games. But I hope they're nice games, because I do love me some games. And they all signed the waiver, so we'll see where it goes.
Right, and once all the waivers are signed, they're all lined up and taken down this deep stairway that has multiple stairs going in every which direction. And then their photos are taken of them. It says smile, and then they take a photo of your face, and then we see behind the scenes where it's added to a board game, like a board on the floor, and then we see like this overlord dude, I forget what his name is, but he's got a really cool mask. I really like that mask.
Well, Skullo, you mean the front man? He's the one that's kind of looks like he's orchestrating all of this. And then we also forgot to talk about the way that everybody is dressed. So you have the people orchestrating the game in pink jumpsuits with masks with circle, triangles, and squares on them.
Wow, I'm shocked that I forgot of all the minions. I mean, wow, I wish I had a bunch of people that were under my payroll that could just dress however I wanted them to and do whatever I wanted them to. That would be nice.
Yeah, probably for you, Skullo, but probably not for them. I'm just saying.
What do you mean, Redo? I mean, I could be a good boss if I was in charge of a large group of people. If I was the front man, I would do great at the job, don't you think?
Well, if your job was to spread chaos and anarchy everywhere, I think that you probably could do a good job at that. But running like a normal kids game, probably not.
Whoa, you don't think I could run this game with that whatever his face is in, the Swang Hua guy? You think I couldn't do it? You think I don't have the ability, the capability of being a great showman?
Well, Skullo, I'm not going after your abilities. I'm going after the fact that you don't even know how to say the one guy's name. Do you mean Sung-gi-yun?
Yes, but how am I supposed to pronounce that? I don't know. In the currency, I don't know how to say that. The Yuda or the Han? I don't know.
Skullo, do you mean the won? That's their currency in Korea, I believe. They keep saying it every 5 times. I mean, aren't you paying attention?
Yes, I am. I'm obviously paying attention to the show because I know what happens next. Let's get back to the subject at hand and let's move on. So after their photos are taken, they're taken to an outdoor desert field where they go and they see this big, ginormous child-looking thing, and then they're told the rules to this new game.
Well, Skullo, it's not really a new game. It's red light, green light. Where the rules are, the big child-looking monstrosity thing will say red light, green light. And your job is whenever it says green light, you move while it's not looking, and then when it looks, you stop. Red light means stop, green means go. Pretty simple concept.
Yes, and that is where the fun begins. I mean, I was so excited that after this child's game turned all gruesome and bloody, when you are seen by the Dodge child monstrosity of cyborgness, I mean, I love that thing. You get sniped if you move, if it sees a little bit of movement. It's so great. I loved the whole scene.
I know, Skullo. When I saw it, I was horrified, but I looked over and you were crying tears of joy. It was a horrific experience for me. I will be forever scarred. Skullo never told me that this was what was going to happen. I was totally horrified. The second that the body started dropping as people started running, screaming for their lives, I mean, I couldn't handle it. I had to leave the room. I had to watch it multiple times because I couldn't handle the scene.
I know, Renato. I just keep watching that scene because it's so beautiful. The gore, everything, the child with the child voice and his big learning his head. I want one, Renato. I want that for Christmas. Get me one.
Well, haven't you realized Christmas has already passed? And I obviously wouldn't buy you that. We don't have any money for that. That's like $1 million piece of architecture or something. I don't know.
All I know is I want one. I really want one. And then also I want the ability for snipers, so whenever it sees somebody moving on my property, it just bam, dead, bam, dead, bam, dead. Awesome. It's so great. I love it.
Well, I can't take this anymore. We'll just go back to the story, okay? Alright, so then as the people are body dropping everywhere, the people that we're following are going through and they're trying to make it through and bodies just keep dropping. And our main character, this one guy, he's learning and people telling him how to survive. His friend tells him that you just need to be behind somebody and hope that you can make it. And they're all getting through and they only have a 5-minute time limit. I totally forgot about the 5-minute time limit.
Right, so our main cast actually do survive, most of them, and then it comes down to like the final 10 seconds, and our main character, he trips, the strong whatever his name is, he trips, and he's caught by the strong man. All I know him as is number 199, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, and then they make it, and I'm just upset because not everybody died. I mean, a lot of people died, and I was happy about that, but not everybody died. It was just depressing when you just see all these people crossing the finish line, and the big child can't just take him out with all the snipers that are in the area. I miss that.
Okay, well now we're gonna move on from that weird, crazy show and talk about the ending where it ends with our main cast of characters surviving and then the room closes and you realize that they're out on an island in the middle of the ocean. I mean, I can't believe it.
Yes, and that concludes the first episode of the Squid Games. Probably my favorite show ever because of all the gore and the chaos and how this bunch of deadbeat losers are doing this. I mean, I wish I had the capital and the money to be putting a game like this together. It would be so great.
Probably not, Skullo. That would be a very terrible game and people are dying. Do you even care that people are dying?
Nah, it's entertainment, man. I mean, I just have the money. I would probably do the same thing. But moving on, I really do enjoy this first episode of this TV show, and I'm really sucked in to keep watching more.
Well, I really am not willing to watch more, but I am now invested in the characters. I want to see if this man can win this money and get his dollar back. I want to see what other games that these people ruin as they go through this horror show. I mean, I'm only invested enough to watch and see what happens to all these characters and where all this is going. Not really for the gore and the horror like you like, but I'm willing to suffer through it to tell you all what I think about it. And I mean, everything was fine. Even the deadbeat getting attacked and his blood getting licked and all this other crap until we got to the horror of the end. Please, I just want to get through this, Skullo. Just let us get through it.
Man, I had to watch that ending scene like 550 million times because it was so great. Oh my goodness. What are you talking about? All right. And then we totally forgot about one of my favorite scenes towards the beginning of it. And this is now getting into the review section, I think. And I want to talk to you about how the one guy, he punches him in the nose and he licks his blood. And I'm like, I wonder what that tastes like.
Hold it in. That is so disgusting on so many levels. Okay, well, I thought the show is pretty good. I mean, it's more of a serious show. I need something less dramatic and less heart-wrenching as all the characters. I mean, currently my favorite character is the strong guy at the end, number 199, who saves the main character from instant death by the evil machine thing that Skullo is somehow in love with in a weird way.
Whoa. I don't like kids in any form or fashion, so no, I'm just saying that the design of it and what it actually does is what I like. Not the kid part. The kid part is very weird. Okay, I'm not into kids, okay? I'm just putting that through everybody's head. I might be a clown and stuff, but I don't like kids parties, okay? If you want to invite me to a party, an adult party, make sure there's booze there. Lots of booze. And that they're free, okay? Key thing, they're free, because if they're not free, I'm not going to drink anything. If I have to pay a damn dime, I already pay too much for liquor, alright? I probably should go to Korea and see if there's an actual Squid Games to pay off all my liquor bills, you know.
Oh, Skullo. Alrighty then. Well, I guess I'll try to leave us off on a high note since he brought us down. And I know that this is kind of a dramatic show and everything, but I will try to raise everybody's spirits up in the end to be the positive reinforcement of everyone. Well, this is the end of our third episode. I'm just so excited that we are getting 3 episodes in. And I mean, we will continue this because this was only the first episode of the Squid Games, and we'll move on to the second. And we got some other things lined up for you. So I hope you all enjoy. Do all the YouTube stuff. Subscribe, put a notifications on there. Do like the video, maybe leave a comment, help us out, help us make more money. You know, all the good YouTube stuff. Well, thank you so much for coming for Clown Brothers Show episode 3. You all have a nice day.
Really, Ro, you're gonna end this before I have my line? See you in your nightmares if you don't support? Really? You couldn't let me at least end on that?
Well, Skullo, I wanted something a little bit more positive, not all negative. This video has been kind of negative, and I wanted more positiveness and more smiles and all that happy and fun good stuff.
Really, Redo, you wanted all the happy, fun, good stuff, so I can't have my moment? Really? Alrighty then.
Ugh. Really, Skullo, you need to calm yourself down. It's fine. We're done with the video. We can move on with our lives, you know. I mean, I have some things I gotta do today, so I guess I'll see you later.
No, don't you dare walk away from me. No, you can at least turn the camera off. I don't know how to do that. Why are you walking away? No!